Hey everyone, welcome to the Farm and Pastor's Wife. I'm so glad you're here. My name's Leslie and you're in my kitchen down on our farm and I'm thrilled to have you here. So let me just give you a little backstory on what's happening today. I don't know what day you guys will see this video. I'm assuming it's going to be several days away from the day I'm filming it. However, this is the day that Hurricane Tropical Storm Helene is coming up through here. It was a Category 4 hurricane when it made landfall in Florida, and it is traveling up here, and it has just, I think the bulk of it has just came through. My yard is flooded. It's quite a lot of rain that just hit us, but anyway, that's what is happening here today. So if I reference the weather, that's why. It's because we're in a hurricane. So anyway, tonight we're having a family dinner, and this dinner has actually been requested. Oh, and let me just say, because of the storm is why I'm just not even fixing, because I didn't know if I may have to run out in it, so we're just not fixed up today. Plus, I'm going to be frying and cooking all day long. So let me tell you what we're making. Today we're making fried cube steak, but then I finish it off in a crock pot. So we're also having mashed potatoes and green beans. This meal was specifically requested, and so that's what we're going to do. So I like to get my cube steak done ahead of time, get it in the crock pot so it can just kind of cook down. The gravy can get all nice and just delicious. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to meet you over at the stove, and I'll be right back. All right, everybody, if you hear some noises in the background, I do have the television on in case they were to call us under a tornado watch. There's several going on right now. I don't think we're in it at the moment, but let me check. We're not, but there's several quite around us. So I'll be keeping my eye on the TV. Plus, I have a grandbaby here who's listening to his tablet. So you might hear some extra noise in the background. Let me get my microphone so I can be over here and you can hear me. All right, so let me tell you what we have. I have several pieces of cube steak. We're doing a lot. So you don't have to do this much. The technique is the same. I'm not going to leave much of a recipe in the description because this is basically just flour, meat, oil, fry, and then just a little, some kind of liquid to make the broth with or gravy with. And so that's basically it. So you just kind of watch me as I go and we'll go from there. So I've got some oil in my cast iron skillet here and we'll get it heating up. And I typically fry in self-rise and flour, and that's what I have here today. But you can use all-purpose, either one. I just normally prefer to fry in, and don't ask me why. Now, I have seasoned my cube steak with just salt and pepper. Simple, simple, simple. Salt and pepper. It's the only seasoning. If you had some like that, what is it, Steak and Chop, that would be good. If you had some of the Lender's steakhouse seasoning, that would be good. But just salt and pepper is all you need. This is a good old country meal, so we don't need all them fancy stuff. This is just a good old country farmer meal here. Now I've got my oil coming up to temperature, and I like to do this in a cast iron. This makes quite a mess. For some reason, when I fry anything, I'm going to make a mess. Now, like I said, we will actually we're not going to fry these till done. We're only browning the outside of them. So, I'm going to just brown them on the outside. Hey, I have a great little meat turner I need to get out that one of my sweet viewers sent me. She sent me one, like a big one for either, you know, outside on the grill or open fire. But then I also have a small one that'll be great for this. See if I can get my eye on it. Yes. Yes. I used to use my blending fork to turn meat with, but this thing is great. So I'm going to set it off to the side. And I just check my oil a little bit by whatever's on my finger. I pinch it down in here just to see if I think my oil is ready. Not quite. So I can keep dredging my cube steak, and I'm just stacking it up. And what I'll do right before I put it in the oil is flop it back down in there for just a second. I think this will be the last one I try to coat because I'm getting kind of full here. My bowl is getting full. We are almost there, folks. I love when my family calls me and says, hey, this is what we want for supper. I love that. Now I'm going to bring my crock pot insert over here. Just have it close by. All right, we're going to try to set one down in there and see how it does. Not quite hot enough. It's almost there. I mean, it's sizzling, but not quite where I want it. I believe we can start adding some more now. And like I said, this one is a little bit frozen. All right. Looks like I could only get 4 in there right now, so we're just going to brown this on each side, and I'll just have my crock pot insert right here, and I'll just stick it right in there once they get brown. And I'll have the next 4 going and ready to go. So I'll bring you back when I pull it out and show you what it looks like. All right, let's check and see if we need to turn now. We're just only wanting to brown it, and that looks beautiful. I don't know if you guys can see. All right, so now we're going to brown it on the other side, and then we'll be moving it over to our crock pot insert. Okay, everyone, here is a nice brown one. We're just going to move right over to our crock pot. It's okay. You may see some pink stuff coming up through it. That's okay. Like I said, we're not cooking this till done in the frying pan. The crock pot's going to take care of that for us. So I'm just moving these over to the crock pot. And then we're going to finish frying them up. And I'll do the rest of them. And then I will bring you guys back to make the gravy and pour over it and finish cooking them off. All right, everybody, make sure my microphone is still on. Let's turn this grease on. I poured out a lot of it, but I'm keeping some, and I'm keeping a lot of that brown bits in there. And we are going to add in some flour, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball how much I have. Now, I am using, as far as my liquid goes for my gravy, chicken broth, because that's what I have. If you have beef broth, by all means, go ahead and use beef broth. If you have water, whatever, I just happen to have chicken broth. Now, don't worry about it not being beef broth, because we're going to cook it in the crock pot with this steak. So, technically, it's going to kind of become beef broth in just a little bit. So I am just stirring this up, and we're just making a good roux. I'm kind of scraping up the brown bits on the bottom of the frying pan. Gonna add a little more flour. Because we want this nice and thick. Now it may thicken up in the crock pot and we can just add, you know, a cup of water here and there if we need to. But look how beautiful this looks with all those bits from the steak as we fried the steak. This is beautiful. Now I'm just going to let this cook just a minute to cook out that flour taste, that kind of raw flour taste. And I would say let it cook till it browns, but you can't really tell that now because we have so much of the bits in here. So I'm just going to cook it for a few minutes. All right, I'm going to slide my flour over. This is where I poured my excess grease at. And we're going to get our chicken broth. And we're just going to cook this until it makes a wonderful thick gravy. And then we're going to pour it over the cube steak. I will need to add in some broth. All right, I'll bring you back when it thickens up and we get ready to pour it in over the meat. All right, let me show you down in the crock pot what the meat's looking like. And look at our gravy right here that's fixing to be poured over top. I'm going to pull this over to us a little bit. All right, now we'll let the cleanup begin. All right, everybody, our steak is looking absolutely delicious. Our cube steak and gravy, so good. And we've got green beans going over here. I just doctor those up with a little bit of garlic powder, some brown sugar, and a little bit of olive oil. If I had bacon grease, or if I do have bacon grease, but if I had some side meat, I would put in there, but I just put like a little drop of olive oil, and that's all you need, because you're going to cook this down and let it get nice and just, I don't know, it's just really good. And I don't put much sugar, just a little bit of brown sugar in there. Okay, and we got tea. I've already made the tea and it's steeped. I'm just heating it back up so it dissolves the sugar well. And in here we have potatoes going for mashed potatoes. I just turned those on. So, and then I've got out my biscuit mix here for our biscuits.
Oh, sorry.
Hey everybody, it is the next day and it's actually the end of the next day, but we had such a wonderful family meal. I didn't film much of it. Basically just right before we got started I filmed all the food and it was so good. It was so good to have just a good old country supper. Bryant has bragged on it all night last night and all day today, so it was a huge hit. And then afterwards, we rode around the farm, and good night, the sun just came out. And let me move. That's a little better. I'm not in the direct sunlight. But then after we came home and everybody took turns riding around the farm and playing around, we turned the TV on, and I had bought these little things, and I just wanted to show them to you. I bought them. It comes in a pack of, hang on, right here they are. It's there's 24 in there, and what it is a pack of these orange leaves. Do y'all remember in school, did you ever take crayons, like different color crayons, just color the sheet, just the whole sheet, just like a stripe of red, a stripe of blue, a stripe of green, a stripe of, and just the whole sheet, and then color over it in black, and then you take a toothpick or something and scrape the black off and all these colors? Well, that's kind of what this does. So they come in a pack of this orange leaves of 24, and they each come with a little stick, and you can kind of carve out, and there's colors underneath. And I got this at Hobby Lobby, and the family loved doing this last night. I believe that was mine. This, I think, was Jessica's. It says, "It's fall, y'all." And one of the boys, of course, that one. I think everybody did one, except, look, Judah did several. This is his for Isaac. And he wrote Jess's name on this one, and I see Levi's name, so I don't know if Levi did that or there's another one, and then somebody did one and put all of our names on it. But if you need a little fun thing for your family to do after a family supper, or if you have little kids or a Sunday school class and you're wanting to teach a lesson maybe on God's creation and the beautiful leaves, this is a great thing. It's at Hobby Lobby, and it's called Leaf Scratch Art. It was with the fall stuff. I found it with the fall decor, and it was $2.49, and I'm assuming when I bought it, it was 40% off. So how inexpensive for a fun family thing to do. Everybody. The only person who I don't think did one was Bryant, and that's because that poor man goes all the time, and when he sits down, he conks out. So after supper, he hit his recliner, and out he went. So, but I just thought I would share those with you. So anyway, I'm going to end today's video here. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I appreciate you tuning in to the Farming Pastor's Wife. I'll see you on the next video. Remember, if the grease is hot enough, you can fry anything. Bye, y'all.